If you're armed and at the Glenmont Metro, please shoot me. Make it a headshot, right in the temple, aiming slightly downward. I need the bullet to cut through my brain in the quickest possible route, straight to my hippocampus. If I'm lucky, the pain of that bullet tearing through my skull will only last a few decades for me. As awful as it sounds, you'd be doing me a huge favor. Death by headshot, as soon as possible, is so much better than what I'm going through now. My ordeal began over 10,000 years ago, at 10:15 this morning. I make extra money participating in drug trials. I'm one of those healthy subjects who take experimental drugs to help researchers assess side effects. Most times, it's been for things like blood pressure or cholesterol. But today, they gave me something different. They said it was a psychoactive substance meant to accelerate brain function. Most drugs I've tested don't really do anything for me. Maybe I've always been in the placebo group, or maybe they just don't work. But today's drug? This one worked. They gave me the pill at 10:15 and told me to wait about 30 minutes for the tests. So I sat down, picked up a copy of Psychology Today, and started reading. I read a few articles, finished the magazine, then read a US news cover to cover. Then I grabbed an old Scientific American. What was taking them so damn long? I turned my head to look at the wall clock. It was only 10:23. I'd read 3 magazines in 8 minutes. I remember thinking this was going to be a long day. I was right. When I stood up to grab a book from the shelf, it felt like my legs barely worked. Not weak, just slow. It took a full minute to stand up, another minute to take 2 steps. I picked up Moby Dick. Reaching out my arm took so long that I actually got bored waiting for my hand to reach the book. I slogged back to the couch and collapsed onto it in a slow-motion fall, like an astronaut on the moon. I opened the book and began to read. I got all the way to Ahab throwing his pipe into the sea, chapter 30, before they called me back. "How are you feeling?" the research assistant asked. "I feel slow," I said. "Actually, it's the opposite. Your brain is fast, really fast, 10 or 20 times faster than normal. Your body just seems slow in comparison." I thought about it. Everything made sense. My brain was on overdrive. That's how I read so much in just minutes. They ran a series of tests on me. I juggled 6 balls easily. They were moving so slowly, it was boring. They threw Cheerios in the air, and I caught them with chopsticks. I counted the total value of coins dropped before they even hit the ground. I scored 250 on some scale they mentioned, deep into superhuman brain speed. Then they sent me home. "It'll wear off in a few hours," they said, "which will seem like days to you. Catch up on work emails while you're still in high-speed mode." The ride home was horrible. It was only 3 metro stops, and in real time, it took about 35 minutes. But in my accelerated state, it felt like days. Every second dragged on like hours. By the time I got back to my apartment, I felt like I'd spent an eternity on that train. I tried reading a book, surfing the internet, doing anything to kill the time, but everything was agonizingly slow. My mind raced ahead while the world crawled. I tried to sleep it off, but my brain refused to shut down. I lay there, trapped in a hyperspeed prison, unable to escape. Hours felt like years. I needed something to end this nightmare. So I took an Ambien. The Ambien didn't make me sleepy. It just made everything worse. My perception of time slowed down even further, thousands of times slower. I was moving in molasses. Every second stretched out into what felt like days, weeks, even months. I fell down a flight of stairs, and it took an eternity to reach the ground. The pain from my dislocated shoulder burned endlessly, never fading, never dulled by time. I couldn't take it anymore. I had to end it. I managed to crawl to the metro platform, hoping to throw myself in front of a train, but the wait for the next train was an unbearable 20 minutes. 20 minutes in real time. To me, that's years. Years of waiting, staring at the feet of commuters, with nothing but pain and boredom. I've been here for what feels like lifetimes, curled up by this bench. I've lived countless lives in my mind, imagined entire universes, and been God 1,000 times over. But I can't do it anymore. I can't live like this. So I'm asking you, whoever you are, if you're armed and at the Glenmont Metro, please, please shoot me. End this endless hell. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more.